Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. My name is Mayra Esquilin, and I'm
The Executive Director of Hartford Area's Rally Together, HART, one of the largest community organizing groups in the city of Hartford. HART, for over 40 years, has been in the city of Hartford to ensure resident voice is heard on critical issues, and that we have been supporting residents to organize and lead efforts to address these issues. Education has been and continues to be one of our city's most critical issues. Last week, the Board of Education had an opportunity to address a crucial issue for SAN families, but instead voted against expansion of high-quality charter schools and magnet schools in the city, and denied many children, hundreds at SANs, the right to high-quality education. A group of parents reached out to us late last week, expressing their concern that their voices were not heard and that the actions that were taken were not reflective of their authentic desire to have capital prep model implemented at their school. You will hear from them later on today. Given what happened last week and this request from parents, we at HART decided to take it upon ourselves to really ask the question. We asked ourselves at HART, were the voices of a small minority heard last week and a decision made that affects hundreds put on the table or taken off the table? We asked ourselves, is the self-interest of other people at play at hand? We asked ourselves, is the true self-interest of SAN parents being heard? So we did what we do at HART. We truly took it to the streets. We canvassed the before and after, asking parents. We canvassed the entire neighborhood surrounding SAN as most kids at SAN school walk to school. We went door to door asking hundreds of parents these key questions. Did they know what is happening at their school and what took place last week? Do they know about capital prep and the school model? Do they want this model at SAN? And if so, why do they want it? And if not, why don't they want it? And what we found was many parents didn't even know that this decision was being made about their children's lives until they heard it on the news that night. Many who did know and wanted capital prep shared that the school's academic rigor and success as the primary reason why they wanted that program at their school. Many who did know about the decision but didn't want capital prep shared their reasons, and we found that many of their decisions were based on either completely false information or information that they misunderstood. Many decisions are being made with little to no authentic parent voice or parent leadership. Leaders, professionals, and others in our community have gotten so wrapped up in personal battles and debates about ideologies around school reform, which only serve their own self-interest, and this has to stop. We have not only left the children behind, but we are now leaving their parents behind on matters of crucial importance to their children's lives and their future. Regardless of our professional opinions or personal beliefs about how to approach school reform, we must ensure authentic parent voice and leadership. We must do it with a great sense of urgency. The children and parents in the city shouldn't have to keep waiting on us adults to be okay with how decisions about their future will affect us. We need to continue to push school reform. It is not acceptable that our children continue to fail. But we as adults must not let our individual ideologies around school reform stop the progress of our city. I'm happy to take any questions.
So last week there were dozens and dozens of people who said they were from SAN, saying that they did not want this partnership, this magnet partnership with Capital Prep. You're telling us that that's not what the SAN parents want?
I'm saying there are over 300 students at SAN, and what you had was a few dozen of those parents coming here. No one made a concerted effort to ask what the other 100 parents were thinking of. No one made a concerted effort to go door to door and give them vital information about what the decision was going to be and the sense of urgency around them. What we found when we went door to door around San and in that neighborhood, that most of those parents didn't even have a clue that that kind of decision was being made. They didn't even know that the decision about their children's future was being put in someone else's hands. We have to do better as a city. What we've seen over and over again these past couple of weeks is decisions being made with no authentic parent voice. We hear a couple of dozen and we assume as a city that there are a couple of hundred. We have to make a concerted effort to reach the hundreds before we make decisions about thousands of children's lives.
Are you a SAN parent?
No, I am not a SAN parent, but I am a Hartford parent.
That's right.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Is there a
we
SAN
advocate
parent
for
who doesn't
Hartford
know what
children.
you're saying?
I'm sure there's some SAN parents here. Any other SAN parents behind you guys?
There are a few that are
Looking for parking.
Yeah, this is a terrible place to have a meeting.
But I'm happy to take you to SAN and the surrounding neighborhoods, door to door, just like we did. And you can speak to those parents. If you are that interested in what they have to say, come with us. I'm happy to go door to door. It's what we do on a day in, day out basis.
So what are you asking for? What are you asking the board to do?
I'm asking the board to make a more concerted effort to make sure that parent voice is authentically heard, that they just do not have these meetings and expect parents to show up, that they go out into the community, that they ask door to door, that they make every effort before a crucial decision is made, that they did indeed do their due diligence and made sure that all of those parents had the opportunity to speak.
But the fact that they don't really want parent involvement just shows you that this is where they have a meeting. I mean, shouldn't they have it in one of our schools? So we have more parents even to come and observe what they're doing?
I couldn't agree with you more, Hyacinth. If this meeting is about SAN and its future, then why isn't that meeting held at SAN? If the meeting is about Clark, why isn't the decision there? If this is about 300, 400 people, why don't we have 300 or 400 parents have the ability to cast their vote on what they have paid for and what they want for their children?
And I think all children, all teachers, and all parents want is quality. And not having to be worried about being on a lotto to get quality. We need quality neighborhood school. That's what we want.
And we have quality neighborhood options, but parents are not being given the proper information for them to make that decision. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions. In our door-to-door canvassing, we found a lot of misinformation from parents being told that if this model was to be implemented, that then it will be automatically a magnet school and that their children will be left out. That is not true. Being told that this was to be a privatizing of their school. That is not true. If we're going to fight this battle, fight it fairly and make sure that these parents have the accurate information. They are more than capable. They're smart, they're resilient, and they're able to make decisions. Do not continue to use our parents to hide behind each other's self-interest.
Right.
And what's the self-interest here?
It's not about the kids, it's about them. I'm serious.
There are many. I would say even the Hartford Public Schools themselves have a self-interest. Why didn't they canvass the surrounding neighborhood and all of those parents? The teachers union has a self-interest. Our political leaders have self-interest. And we have got to stop putting our own individual self-interest in front of the interest of what's in the best interest of children.
Mayra, as the president of HART, are you going to take the cost of Hartford parents to your bosom?
Yes.
And maybe we need to get other such entities to work together and put it right on the table.
Yeah. In reviewing and discussion of what we found in our canvassing, HART is fully prepared to do what we do, especially on this issue. We were counting on the school board and others to be able to work directly with us to be able to reach to parents. That has not happened, and we are going to take this matter to the street, go door to door until we fill each room with hundreds of parents and their voices heard.
Right on.
I'm with you, honey. I'm with you. We are long overdue for this kind of process.
Long overdue.
I don't think that there's one parent at Sands that is against education reform.
No,
I think that
it's the kind of reform they're talking about.
the parents at Sands are simply saying, if there's going to be education reform, we want an absolute 100% guarantee that not one single child will be left out.
Displaced,
They
right?
can't do that. They've tried many times before. They can't deliver on a promise.
Well, I'm prepared to tell you today that if the board was to push forward a proposal, and if I personally had to stand with one single family that was left out of it, I'm prepared to do that.
That's great. And you may be called upon to do that.
And I think it's a great opportunity for you as a leader to make sure that what they want is truly what's on the table. Because it's not okay to say we don't want that model or that other model and not give better options.
I think it's fair to say too that we were down this road 3 years ago. This is not new. We're just getting here quicker due to the School Governance Council legislation. And so, to go down that road and not see results 3 years later, after parents spend numerous of hours trying to create a model that's going to best fit all their children at Sands, and then to have no results at the end of the day, that's depressing, because we've been down this road before. This is nothing new. And I think that when you bring history into this, and you know everything that has taken place already, you have to ask the question, what is in there that's causing this not to work?
I say exactly the same thing, because we have some of the brightest minds working in our state legislature, in City Hall, on the Board of Education. We have some of the brightest minds, but if I remember correctly, Mr. Stephen Pryor quoted that on CTN, I was watching him the other day, he said that this gets a little bit complicated. To uncomplicate things, I think, again, I would reiterate that until we find something, and why we can't, I don't know, but until we find something that is beneficial for all of the children in the city of Hartford, I stand up and say no to it. Because to say to one child that this doesn't fit you, so therefore you have to have a life of either being in prison, on drugs, homelessness, or in the streets, and that the opportunities that are available for others are not available to you, absolutely not.
Right, I'm saying that we've been down this road before with several parents around the table creating a model that they thought going into this was going to best fit everyone. Now,
I spoke with a parent in Wethersfield today, from Wethersfield, and she told me that her child is in 2nd grade, reading on a 3rd grade level. That's right next door to Hartford. Why are we way out in New Jersey? Why are we way out in New York City trying to find something that works when we have something right next door?
You know, that frustrates me, because she said 3 years. I've been watching for 40 years and trying to intervene. These children are poor. That's the worst you can say about them.
Yeah.
That's all. They're not stupid. They're not incorrigible. They are just poor. And that's not something that we cannot surmount. Look at all the millionaires and billionaires, the 1%, yeah. So it's doable if we took the time to teach them what they need to know. But somehow not, we can't do it.
We can't do it. And for some reason, we're not providing them the kind of information that they need. Many of these parents really didn't even have a clue what was a charter school. That information that they had was false. They didn't know what a magnet school. Many of them didn't even know what Chef versus O'Neill was, and we were knocking on doors. We have to do better. We have to make sure that they have the critical information that they need, accurate information, so that they can make the best decisions for their children. We can't make assumptions. And if we need to take the campaign door to door, then we need to do that.
But let us not fall into the trick of having the communities begin to fight against one another. Because the common ground here is for the children.
I think common ground is very easy to achieve. We have been organizing in this city for 40 plus years. We have made some significant strides in many different areas. If we stay focused, that this is in the best interest of kids, and if we stay focused on that common self-interest, then we can achieve. We can certainly sit around the table and negotiate it out, look at our options, but it's not okay for us to go door to door, talking to parents about a decision that was made about their children, and they have no clue.